What's up guys, it is Dan. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. Roll that intro. What is up everyone, welcome back. So today we are looking at the new for 2025 American Professional Classic Series Stratocaster. So straight up for me, this is a guitar that has been missing from the Fender American lineup for a while. It is, in my opinion, a replacement for the old school Fender American Standard Strat. If you wanted a just bog standard Strat, just a classic Strat, which is kind of in the name, that didn't have compound radius fretboards, it didn't have push-pull switches, ultra heel accesses, all that kind of stuff, extra jumbo frets, the 70s headstock, all that stuff, your only option was to either go for like an American vintage thing that was like really expensive and again had American vintage specs, or get a secondhand American standard Strat. The American Professional 2s and stuff, obviously they've got like pickup selection options and all that kind of stuff. The American Performers, which I understand have now been discontinued, had like the extra jumbo frets and stuff. So to me, this is essentially it's like a welcome return of the just good old classic American Standard series. Going over the specs at the body on this, there's no surprises here. It's an older body. This one is the Sherwood green color. We've got 3 single coil pickups. These are the Coastline 57 Strat pickups. Volume, 2 tones, no S1 switching or anything like that. 5-way switch, input jack, 6-point trem. It is all pretty standard Strat stuff. Going over to the next side of things, again, it is all pretty straightforward for a Fender. We have got a modern C-shaped neck, a rosewood fretboard on this one, 22 medium jumbo frets, dot inlays, 9.5-inch radius, 25.5-inch scale, and then Fender tuners on there as well. Sounds and tones that you can get out of this guitar. So as you can see in the playing clips, I'm using Tonex for those sounds. With careful amp selection, you can get anything from funky tones, bluesy tones, classic rock tones, kind of indie, jangly, slightly crunchy tones. You can push it up into harder rock territory if you want to. It's a Strat, it kind of just does it all. It's got 57 style pickups in there, so they are on the brighter end of things for a Strat. Like the 60s pickups tend to be a bit darker sounding, I find. So that's why I say with careful amp selection, because if you push this into a higher gain territory and flick it over to the bridge pickup, it can be quite bright and very brittle sounding, but it's still got a nice rounded top end to it. But as I say, with careful amp selection, you can kind of push this thing to do anything that you want it to. The pickups feel like they're very good quality. They've got nice dynamics to them. They roll off really nicely when you roll the volume back. Nice touch sensitivity. It's just kind of everything that you want from a no-frills, straight up Strat, plug and play, and just get some great tones out of it. Set up straight out of the box on this one, and as I always say, I can only review what comes out the box. I'm not doing any extra work on this, so it is just straight what you get from the supplier. This has been set up very, very well. It's been set up so when you are in standard tuning, the bridge is just raised a little bit. So if you're using the trem, you can get a little bit of up bend on it and stuff. If you're someone that likes to change tunings a lot during your set, even if it's just drop D or anything like that, then you might want to consider decking this down to the body, because where it's a floating trem, if you put this in like drop D, for example, it's going to make the bridge go back a little bit. It will make all the other strings go sharp, and then you're going to have a bit of a nightmare tuning. But if you like just being in standard tuning, then that's great. There's nothing to complain about with the setup on this straight out of the box. It's a very, very good setup. There's no sharp fret ends there. It's nice and smooth feeling. The frets are a little bit sort of square on the edges, so if you really sort of curl your hand round, you can feel it a little bit, but nothing to complain about. Fretboard's a little bit dry. It could do with a bit of an oil. That could just be a climate thing for the time of year. Obviously, we're starting to shift into autumn now at the time this video is recorded, so humidity might play a bit of a factor there. Nut's been cut really well. It's really nice at this end of things. It's not going sharp when you hit the first few frets. Intonation is in. All in all, very, very good. It's exactly what I want when I get a guitar out of the box at this price point, just to find that you tune it up and it just plays really well. Build quality on this one, again, straight out of the box, there's not really anything to complain about here. Again, the fit from the neck to the body, really good. The wood selection seems great. The grain of the wood seems like they've used really good wood quality. The hardware they've used seems like it's, again, really good hardware. It's exactly what you want at this price point of guitar. The only thing for me, like just being niggly, is that the actual knobs themselves, this turn spine feels great, This one, quite tough, but I think that's just where they've pushed the knob on really, really far, like maybe too far. But other than that, completely top notch. Nothing to complain about here, and just a really good, well put together Strat. Would I play one of these live? And as usual by that, I mean, if I was going on tour for like a year, or if I was doing a big run of shows and someone gave me a couple of these and said, on this, you're only allowed to play American professional classic Strats, would I be happy with that? Yeah, I would. It's a really good, solid feeling guitar. It feels like great quality. The tuning on it is great. The range of tones that you can get is great. Personally, I prefer slightly darker sounding pickups, 60s style pickups maybe. So I might want to change the pickups out on it for something a little less wiry sounding. But in terms of feel, sound, and quality, I would have no problem gigging this and know that I'm going to get a great array of tones out of it that's going to cover everything that I do. The neck is a satin finish, so it's not sticky at all. I prefer satin finish necks. It's what they call a modern C-shaped profile. So to me, that's just like a very like polite way of saying it's a slim C-shaped neck with no particular description. And that's exactly what it feels like. It feels very nondescript. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing like, it's very polite. I can put it that way. It just feels very polite, very familiar, kind of characterless, and like characterless in a good way, I suppose, that you're going to pick it up and it's not going to kind of offend anyone or go like, oh, I don't like that bit of it. It just feels really good. So would I play one of these on stage live? Yes, I would. Obviously, I use a Fractal Live, so I've got the, the world is my oyster in terms of like tones and sounds that I can get. I can shape it to anything that I want. So I can darken up the sound and all that kind of stuff. If I was playing valve amps live, then as I say, I would want to change the pickups out for something a little bit darker if I was kind of like pigeonholed to one particular amp. But yeah, other than that, I'd be more than happy to play this live. Is the guitar worth the money? Now, in the UK, these start at around £1,500, which there's a couple of little points that might antagonize some people. Traditionally, at that price point, you would expect the guitar to come with a hard case or a Fender to come with a hard case. These don't. These come with a very slightly padded Fender gig bag. It's a classic Fender gig bag, same that they used in the 2000s, in the 90s. I guess that goes with the name, classic, but those guitars also came with hard cases. It doesn't bother me because I prefer soft cases, just a good quality soft case. It goes on my passenger seat in my car, it goes in my boot, absolutely fine. When I get to a gig venue, if they're like hard cases are a pain in the butt to carry to the gig venue, you know, I can put like 4 soft cases on my back. Look like an idiot doing it, but it's easier to carry. It's easier to fold up a gig bag and squirrel it away somewhere at a gig. If I was going in a van with a PA system tumbling around the back, then yeah, absolutely, I'd want a hard case. But it is not a problem for me that these come with soft cases because it's what I use most of the time. But again, I understand why some people may be a little bit upset that at the price point, you don't get a hard case. Now, I don't know if this is like a direct replacement for the American Performer series, but it's a little bit more expensive than the American Performers were. So the jumping on point for an American-made Strat as of the time of filming this video, I don't know what's in Fender's future or anything like that, if they're doing a cheaper series or anything, but there's this new like £1,500 price point is the jumping on point for an American-made Fender guitar, and that seems to be the going rate these days for American-made professional guitars. Gibson Studios, SGs new are around that price point if they're not on sale somewhere. The PRS S2s are a little bit more expensive, obviously bottleneck versus set neck and all that kind of stuff. So at a jumping on point in this day and age for 1,500 quid, this is just a really good, solid, well put together, dependable feeling classic Strat. So is the guitar worth the money? If you're looking for a really good quality American-made Fender, then yes, it is. I would have no problem paying 1,500 quid for one of these. I would expect in 6 months' time to see them on sale for like $12.99, maybe $13.99, a little bit cheaper, which might be more appealing to some people. But at 1,500 quid brand new, it is a great guitar. So is the guitar worth the money? I can see why some people would want more for the money, but generally for the actual guitar itself, which is the main point, yes, it is worth the money. Is there anything that I don't like about the guitar? Honestly, no. For personal preference, I would deck the bridge down just so I can change tunings live. I would love for 60s style pickups rather than 50s, but that's just personal preference. There's nothing wrong with these, just a little bit on the high end for me. The only thing that I don't like was just, it's a general Fender thing really, is the branding, the professional branding. I've never got on board with it since they changed it years ago when they went from American Special and American Standard to the Performer, Professional, Elite, I think it's the Ultra now and stuff. But I've never got on board with this professional branding because it might not be the intention behind it, but it just, to me, always felt like Fender saying, we don't consider you a professional unless you spend the extra money to buy a professional Strat. If you buy a Performer or something, like, you're not a professional. If you want to be elite, you need to buy the elite. Otherwise, you're not professional. I've never got on board with that. As I said, I don't know if that was the thinking behind it when they came up with the branding, but it's just something that I don't like. But that's not anything against the guitar itself, just the branding. As I say, other than that, no, there is nothing that I don't like about this guitar. It is just very comfortable feeling. There is nothing like offensive about this guitar. It is just a really good, classic American standard Strat. So there we go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you managed to pick one of these up? Have they all been as good as this one when you get them out of the box and tune them up? I think this is just a return of just a good, old-fashioned, inoffensive, American standard Stratocaster. It's been missing from the lineup without having to have bells and whistles on it, all the extras that you might not want, or having to pick the right year of American vintage reissue with what appointments from that you want, with special finishes and all that kind. All that's like, I just want an American standard, bog standard, unoffensive Strat. And this is it. So it's a great return to form, in my opinion. It's exactly what's been missing from the Fender lineup. Sometimes less is more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And other than that, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.